my stories to show you what my hair looked like in its blown out state. You all have seen my hair in its curly state, and the curls look good. However, when my hair was blown out, number one, I never had any splits. Never had any splits. But I made a post some time ago about how high lift and bleached color is a quiet erosion of the hair strand. And that's what was happening to my bleached ends, my bleached hair. There was no breakage. It was just this thinning. So if you have color treated hair and you're noticing that hair is always tangly on the ends, more than likely it's that quiet erosion that's going on.
Here's something most people never notice. These strands are from my own head. They're not broken, dry, or damaged. In fact, they look perfectly healthy. But take a closer look. The root where my hair is grown out and natural, it's noticeably thicker than the mid strands and ends. Why? Because this section is color treated. Whether it's bleach or high lift color, chemical lighteners slowly strip away the inner strength of our strands, especially on tight, coily textures like mine. Now, not all damage looks like breakage. Sometimes it looks like quiet erosion. Over time, your density thins out, your ends get skimpy, your style stops looking as full, even though you think you're doing everything right. This is why most of my length retention clients don't get color.
And that's why you end up with a lot more trims when you have bleached hair, high lift color. But here's the thing. As a stylist, I don't have that luxury. I don't have the luxury of having a stylist. Ooh, your girl getting hot. I don't have a regular stylist. And when I am trying to find a stylist, they are working just like I am working. So my hair gets neglected. Girl got to find some hair around here. So my hair gets neglected. So it had been at least 7 months since I had a trim. My ends were like Brillo, very high porosity. Bless the stylist's heart that took me on last night. Bless her heart, because number one, she was not mentally prepared. She was not mentally prepared for what I had going on. Let me tell you something. And she hunkered down, but I could tell she was totally out of her comfort zone. But she handled it though, you know. So here's the thing. My hair was soaking up water. She was trying to get through it with the blow dryer to straighten those ends out. Them ends was like, girl, whatever. You know, it was like that. And it was no other recourse but to cut the hair that was damaged. The hair was damaged. I mean, anytime you get high lift color or bleach, you are damaging your hair. There is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So in the curly state, my hair looked amazing. Everybody was like, oh my God, your hair has grown out. Yes, it did grow. But how much am I going to retain as a result of the damage? And so I'm at a point now that I have to decide, do I want to grow out my hair? And if so, that means none of the things that I like, which is high lift color and bleach. Or do I embrace what I know is going to happen? I go through this cycle every 2 or 3 years. I bleach it out, I cut it off, I grow it out. That's the joy of being able to release what no longer serves you. I had to be willing to let that stuff go. Even though you would never look at my hair until I showed you the blown out phase and you were like, So in its curly state, it looked amazing. It was fine. It was good until it wasn't. And the funny thing is, it wasn't in every part of the hair. The hair in the crown, which typically is our coarsest, it is typically our tightest, and it is typically, generally speaking, our most fragile. And so where do you think that hair will suffer the most? In your crown. So where does the haircut have to start? It doesn't matter about your sides or your back and how healthy they are. The queen bee is the crown, because nobody wants to walk around like a Superdome. It just doesn't make sense. So that's the queen bee. The queen bee is the crown, and also in the front. You can kind of, the front is a game changer. It's a game changer too. So yeah. I can't lie. If your front is chewed up, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So what I've got going on now is a haircut. I don't like highlights on very short tapered hair, because in its natural state, if you don't have the length, it looks patchy. It doesn't look like I would like it to look. So I'm in a conundrum. Do I just let it be, take care of my hair, do the things that I tell all my clients to do, the length retention, do my whole program, and grow it out? Or you see the flashes, do I really care? That's where I'm at. Do I really care about length right now, where I'm at? I care about health, but do I care about length? So those are the questions that each of you all, a lot of times when you love color, you have to consider these issues. So I hope that you all, because any stylist that looked at my hair on yesterday, if they have, and you don't even have to be a stylist, you just have to know what those ends was looking like. Those ends was fried. They was laid to the side. And so the question is, how can I, as a stylist that don't have a regular stylist, and I decide that I want to have high lift color, and I'm trying to do the best that I can to maintain it, but I have no one to cut my hair on a regular basis, how do I move forward and not end up in the same situation without having regular stylist visits? It's either I'm going to have to keep it really, really short and colored, or I am going to have to do a better job of just taking care of my hair and do very low level lifts. No bleach, no fun. But you have to figure out what really fits your lifestyle. What does that look like? So my goal in showing my hair blow dried out was for you all to see that there's a huge difference in what that hair looks like in curls versus when it's blown out on a regular basis. There's no comparison. How that hair behaves even when it's blown out, not just how the hair looks when it's blown out. Everybody is now trending blown out hair. But back in 2023, when the debacle was going down, I was the only curl artist that was on board with, okay, there's some truth and reality going on here, and whether everybody else is drinking the Kool-Aid or not, it doesn't matter to me. What is the hair going to need to be healthy? That's the whole point of the game. And if it means that we have to do a combination of blowout cuts and curly cuts to achieve our aesthetics, then that's what we do. But there was no getting around it. And so now everybody's got their little white paper out, and they're showing the fitting, and they're showing all the assessments. By the way, I do have a masterclass on hair assessments for the stylist. If you are a stylist and you really need to up your game on hair assessments, the science behind it, then feel free to invest in that, because it's only going to make you better. So whether you've been on game or you want to get in the game and you want to improve, then of course take advantage of it. But the reality of it is, like I was explaining in my post on my stories the other day, was that I don't even want to alternate really unless I just know that hair is really where it needs to be. But if you've gone 4 to 6 months without it, I prefer to blow dry you out to see what I need to see. Yeah, that way we can both be on the same page and be clear. But I will repost what I talked about with the quiet erosion about my colored hair. My strands were good. I didn't have any splits. I had some pure breakage in that crown part. And the funny thing was, it didn't look like breakage. It just looked like quiet erosion, which is still a form of breakage, but no splits. So how do you know the difference? What does that hair look like? How does the hair behave? Those are the things that you need to understand. It's not just taking out that hair and seeing where it's thin at. What does the hair strand look like? How is the hair behaving? What is the history of the hair? All of the things are taken into account when you decide of where you need to cut, how you need to cut, what does the client really need, and what do they agree to, and what is their lifestyle. So that's my TED Talk this morning. Let me know that you got anything out of this. Let me know that this has been helpful to you in any form of fashion. Let me know. Just let me know, did it make sense? Alrighty then. I am at my destination, and so I hope, because I didn't get a response, if this was helpful or insightful to you on what is going on with the hair and how you all can really understand what a stylist needs to assess when deciding whether or not we need to keep this hair or we need to let it go. So I hope that's been good for you this morning, and I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday, and have a good one. I will always have damaged hair. I love my hair color. I understand, sweetie. We here. So when you see the long bobs and the pretty bobs and everything, remember the returning, how that hair looks in 6 months and a year. You see the initial product, but that doesn't guarantee that how that hair leaves the chair and looks like 6 months from now, a year from now, is the same way that it left. Blonde is high maintenance, and if you don't have a system in place, or if your strand, some people can do things that others cannot. That's the simple fact of the matter. Where your hair is weakest, can it take the same level or volume that another part of your hair can take? The front of my hair is the strongest, the crown is the weakest. So if I do color, if I want to color, I may concentrate more in the front than in the crown if I decide to rebleach. So you have to know these things about your hair, and your stylist, if you have a regular stylist, they will know that for you as well. And if they're paying attention to how your hair lives, how it behaves, and whatever issues you got going on. So I hope that has been good for you guys. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and thank you.